So you've heard of the game Escape from Tarkov, and maybe you've seen a few videos, clips, or streams of it, but you're still a bit unclear of the gameplay loop. How exactly does one escape from Tarkov? Well, hey guys, I'm Morphologist, and in this video, I'm going to give you an introduction, a bird's eye view of Tarkov from start to finish. We'll go through the prep of going into Tarkov, what Tarkov is, and then we'll go through a raid and I'll tell you exactly how that works. My goal is by the end of this video to give you a surface level understanding of all that Tarkov has to offer, and if I do in fact successfully do so, please let me know down in the comment section below, and if you want to see more videos like this and you think I deserve it, also be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you find out when I post more videos. So the first thing that needs to be cleared up about Tarkov is its comparison to games like Dayz and Pub G. Well, it on the surface can seem kind of similar to those games, it really isn't at all like them. Unlike Dayz, there isn't a single big map where everybody's thrown in. It's a grouping of several maps that are in the same city of Tarkov in the lore. Each one you can enter for a set period of time, after which you must leave, otherwise you lose all of your things. This time period can be anywhere from 30 minutes to 60 minutes. If you stay beyond that time, say you camp too much, you will die and lose everything on your character that you brought in. Similar to PUBG, you are thrown into those maps, or raids as they call them in Tarkov, with a bunch of other players, but there is no win condition like in PUBG, where you have to kill everybody on the map and you get winner winner chicken dinner. No, instead Tarkov is more about making it to the extract point and completing your mission. Sometimes those missions could be retrieving a specific item or placing an item or killing a certain amount of scavs or even sometimes players. This is just a brief synopsis, but let's get more now into the specifics of the experience of Tarkov by walking you through an entire gameplay loop. When you enter the game of Tarkov for the first time, you'll be greeted with this screen: Escape from Tarkov, Character, Trading, Hideout, and Exit. Now let's go first to the character screen and take a look at what our character looks like. On the right, you have your stash. This is where you'll have all your backpacks, items, and stuff that you can put on your character, along with the amount of money you have in 3 different types of currencies, which are used in the game through different traders, which we'll get into in a moment. To the left of that is what's in your player's inventory and what you're going to take into the raid with you. Keeping in mind that everything that I take in, I could possibly lose if I don't make it out the other end. That is with the exception of what's in your alpha or gamma pouch, which is located at the bottom here. Choosing the right setup is going to affect the way you play the game. Choosing something like, say, Gen 4 is really great because it's going to give you level 5 protection, but it's extremely expensive to lose that if I die, and this mission's going to take me into a really hot zone. I'm going to customs, it's where all the new players start. So instead I'm going to take something that has similar level of protection, with the downside of only having fewer slots. Now, equipping body armor will also protect you, but it does come with the downside of reducing movement speed, so everything in Tarkov is give and take. You might get more protection, but you're going to have reduced mobility. Weapon selection for going into a raid is also important, and what you put on it. If you right-click a weapon, you can go into modding to see just how complex it can be. Everything from the upper to lower receiver, to the barrel, to the foregrip, the rear grip, the stock, the barrel attachment can be swapped out, and they all have different sorts of types of furniture you can use. It's not just one specific element, there are many, and they will each have a different effect on the weapon, such as reducing recoil, increasing ergonomics, which helps with bringing it up to ADS quicker, or aim down sights more quickly, which can save you in a quick engagement. And there's a lot more complexity and depth to this that I can go into in this segment of the video, but for the sake of time, we're gonna have to move on to the next bit, because it's not just about what you put on your weapon that's going to affect how you engage people, it's also your ammo that you use for that weapon. Yes, there are different types of ammo. Now, just for this AK chambered in 5.45, there are tons of different types of ammo I can use. I can use PS, PRS, US, BS, BT, T, it goes on, and each of them are going to have different levels of penetration and damage. If I'm using, say, US, which is really crappy ammo, I'm not going to hit or kill anything. It's going to be basically like shooting BBs at people. But if I'm using BS, the best ammo in the game, it's gonna go through everything up to even class 6 armor, so nothing's going to stop that round from killing somebody. But it of course comes with a cost. Ammo can be extremely expensive. For example, the best ammo here, the BS rounds, can go up to 1,000 per round. That's a lot of money. To be cost effective on this run, I'm going to be using BT rounds as opposed to BS rounds because they're less expensive with very similar damage characteristics, with the downside that the T stands for tracer, meaning everybody's going to know where I am. So whatever, I'm not going to even suppress this weapon. Instead, I'm going to run something that reduces my recoil and just give me a better fighting chance for people who will inevitably hunt me down when they hear my AK going off. To prep for such an engagement, I always bring something like a Saloa or a car kit to make sure that I can heal myself in the event that I've gotten shot. Even against the AI, which can pose a real threat, you will be damaged. Sometimes the damage they do to you can be severe. In this engagement, you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner that both of my arms and my chest have been taken out. Tarkov has HP pools for each of your limbs, your head, your chest, your stomach, your legs, and your arms, and they can each take damage individually. This can have a detrimental effect on your gameplay in several different and varied ways. In this case, both of my arms have been effectively zeroed down to no HP, which means I can hardly hold my weapon steady or aim down sights efficiently. The Scav's short-range shotgun also caused fractures and bleeding, and if I don't resolve the bleeding with a Saloa or a bandage quickly, I could bleed out and die. These effects of course all cause pain to the player, which will affect your vision, making everything quite blurry and very much like a tunnel vision. And in a game where situational awareness is everything, that can really get you killed. Luckily, if you come prepared, you can bandage, heal, and even heal fractures by using splints or a recently added survival kit which can restore an arm that's been zeroed to something that's, again, healable so that you can actually play as if it never happened. However, all of these come with a real cost. You'll notice that I've actually sat down for quite a bit now, and if I were facing real players, they'd have pushed up on me by now and killed me. To mitigate this, Tarkov also has Painkillers, which can temporarily reduce the effects of the pain on your player and help you get out of that engagement and into somewhere safe. So I always bring those with me in every raid as well. I'll also move them down to my hotbar to 4 and 5 and 6 so that I have a way to use them in game very quickly without having to go into my inventory to select them. To complete my protection, I'll also bring a Kevlar helmet, but because it can reduce what I can hear around me, I always tend to also bring something called Comtax, which can increase the range that I can hear people. There are a variety of these sorts of things available in the game that can augment your ability to hear other players and weapons. Just in case I get in some really rough engagement where I don't have time to reload, I'm also bringing a secondary so I can whip it out and finish off my target. Now, I'm also putting some stuff in my Gamma, which I told you earlier doesn't disappear if I die in a raid. This is the more valuable stuff that I might want to keep, like my backup kit for in case I really get hurt, some extra ammo which can be expensive, and a survival kit which is also pretty expensive. So I'm leaving those in my Gamma just in case. Another thing you're going to want to pay attention to is your hydration and energy, which can be refilled by drinking water bottles or juice you find in raid, as well as consuming canned goods or chips that you find in raid or you can buy from some of the traders. These will decrease with exertion, and of course if you forget to refill those by eating and drinking, you can die from dehydration or lack of energy in raid. One way that this game differs from games like PUBG and Dayz quite a bit though is through the skill system, which you can find in the skill tab up above. These are skills that you'll level up through each raid you go in as a PMC. The way you level them up isn't super clear, don't worry about them, just continue playing the way you want to play, and the more you do that, the better you're going to become at them through your own personal skill, as well as the buffs you get from performing those actions over and over again. For example, the more you run, the more endurance you'll have, and the longer you'll be able to run as you level up. The more you use an AK, the better you're going to become with it, and the less recoil you'll have with that weapon, and the faster you'll be able to reload with it. Sometimes though, you won't have what you need when you need to go into a raid, and so going to the trading tab back in the main menu can give you access to dealers that will sell you items at a pretty good price. This is where you also find the missions I spoke of that you can do in raid. You can find it in the tab called Tasks in each respective trader. Here you'll be given a set of different tasks to do, which will give you rewards such as experience or specific items that that particular trader has, such as morphine. This gives you a chance to avoid the flea market, which is where you can buy and sell stuff to players, though at this point you're going to be spending a lot more than you would if you were to buy stuff straight from a trader, and that's why it's better to avoid the flea market if you can. The last bit of information you gotta know about is about the Hideout. This is something you're going to want to level up as you go into raid. All those little items that you collect that don't seem to really do anything, like wiring and conduit and stuff, can be used to level up your Hideout, which will give you pretty nice benefits. Being able to manufacture stuff that's pretty expensive from cheap parts is pretty great. And you'll also be able to help your player out a little bit more by reducing the amount of time between scav raids and also healing your player between raids without having to use any meds, which can be pretty cost effective. This is essentially Tarkov's very early version of crafting. But now that we've gotten all of these basics out of the way, it's time to actually escape from Tarkov. Here you'll be given two options to go into a raid. You can choose Scav or your main character, your PMC or private military contractor. If you choose Scav, you'll be given a random loadout that you can see here at this main screen, where you go and inhabit the body of an AI player already in a raid with other people. This mechanic of Escape from Tarkov enables you to always get out of the bottom of the barrel. If you lose everything, you can jump into a raid as a scav and take out what you find. The good thing about this is that other scavengers, other AI, won't actually shoot you. But beware, sometimes you'll run into other players who are also inhabiting scavs, and they might not be so friendly. This should always keep you on edge as a PMC because you never know when you're going to run into a player as a scav who could be hiding in some corner waiting for you to arrive. Now for my mission, I need to go to customs, so I'm gonna go back here and look at all the different places I can go. I can go to the lab, to the interchange, to customs, woods, factory, reserve, or shoreline. These are the current available locations in Tarkov. And as I said, they're not connected, they're individual instances where you go into a raid for a set amount of time. They each have different levels of difficulty. For example, the lab is the hardest. I'm now going to go into customs and I'm going to select either nighttime or daytime. I'm going to elect to go in the morning because it's a little bit brighter for me and I feel a bit more comfortable doing that. You can also jump into an offline mode here if you don't hit ready right away, and that'll give you an option to just play against AI or explore a map to get a better understanding of what it's like. Offline mode will also help you get accustomed to the controls in Tarkov, which can be kind of complicated if you've never played a game like this before. So you can learn the key bindings, learn player movement, learn the maps. It's just an all-around great thing to start off doing. Otherwise, I also might suggest you doing a scav run as your first run to just acclimate to the experience of Tarkov. Now the last thing is, before I go into Tarkov, I'm going to insure all my weapons. Here they're already insured before I made this video, so they've got these shields over them. That means if I die in a raid and a player doesn't pick those items up, I should get them back from that insurance, which is a great way to save some money and get back what you lose. I'm finally here in the lobby. I'm just gonna click ready and jump right in. So you're going to be dropped in here at a random spot in the map, and you'll see the upper right hand corner right when you start your different extract points. I've got two mission objectives: pick up something from the dorms and drop it off at a place near my extract. Easy peasy, in and out. Now as far as maps go, customs is intermediate in size. It's really not too bad, and so I quickly make my way to the back of dorms, which is a player PvP hotspot. I'm going to be really cautious here and approach kind of more slowly. Running in could get myself killed if there's somebody already hiding here in the bushes, which has happened to me before. Always remember, you can also encounter player scavs. I've just heard some shots on the inside of the building, so I'm going to be cautious. Anticipating there might be a player waiting on the inside, I step off to the side and open the door. But no shots doesn't mean there's nobody. It could be a skilled player. And I end up finding a level 48 here in one of the locked rooms. While it might be tempting to loot, I know that there could be other players or scavs around, so I pop a pill to mitigate the damage effects and push on. Having dispatched the immediate threat and having seen a possible player at the end, I decide to heal up just a little bit more to prep myself for the second engagement with another player. AI might directly approach me, I never know what a player is going to do. I'm not going to fully heal up yet. First, I'm going to go and try to find where this guy went. I spot an AI and try to take him out with as few rounds as possible. However, I miss my first shot and have to take a few follow-ups. Not having seen that player, it's time to get my blacked arm up because it doesn't seem like he's being aggressive. After I'm fully ready to go, I decide to push on to the third floor where my mission objective is. But that doesn't mean he's not waiting for me. He could be very, very passive. In my experience, being aggressive usually pays off more than being passive. Waiting for somebody to come to you can just end up having somebody come around to your flank or attracting more players to the area. Remember that all this noise I've been making has allowed the entire map to know where I am and might in fact draw even more heavily geared players in for a kill. I might not be able to take out that many people. Group of 2, fine. Group of 5? Well, I don't like those odds. Now again, there's a lot of loot here, but I'm not stopping to pick it up, because in doing so, he could hear me looting and come and kill me. So instead, I'm going to approach cautiously. That back door is open. He could be outside waiting at the end, or he could have used the exterior stairway to get up to the 3rd floor where I need to go. So always be cautious, and remember, there's always one more. I hear footsteps off to my left. I know that there's somebody there, probably a player, either a player scav or a PMC. So I'm still checking all my corners just to make sure there's not more than one person up here. Never be too sure that you know what's going on. The one thing I do know though is that this guy is very passive, so he could be hiding in any of these rooms just waiting for me. I was right, he was waiting for me on the roof. Now, I know that he's passive and he might be healing, so I decided to be very aggressive and not heal yet. I want to try to stop him and kill him if he's in fact trying to recuperate. But I don't see him. He might have jumped off the roof, but I can't be sure. I pull back because I know he's not aggressive and decide to heal a little bit. Now, I'm concerned I may have still missed him. He might be hiding behind those sandbags, so I pull out the P90 I pulled off the dead player downstairs, and I decide to be aggressive once again. Now, the reason why I don't think he jumped off is because he would have broken his legs. It does seem that he threw a grenade from down below, but just to be absolutely sure, I move back up and check those sandbags just to clear this roof area. I've lost the initiative. I don't know where he is downstairs. He's probably going to be waiting for me at one of the exits, and I still have my objective. So I move on to the objective room and pick up that Zippo lighter that guy wanted for some reason. Screw that guy. This is a lot of work for a stupid Zippo lighter. I think he might be off to my left. That's where I would be, so I bait his shots. But he's not there. Seems he is very passive and he's probably somewhere healing. I decide to move on. I don't want to deal with him. All I want to do is get out of this map with my objective complete. So I disengage and I move on to my second mission objective. This is where I have my second major encounter. Luckily, these are just regular AI scavs, but it could have ended badly, but my aggressiveness pays off. I hear movement in the bush ahead. But I'm very close to my second objective. I just need to place the Zippo lighter in this portable cabin. I've been through a lot of engagements. I'm not sure how much ammo I have. Unlike in other games, I need to actually check my mag. Seems I've got about 10 rounds in my mag left. I reload. Placing this object is going to take a while, and in that time, other players might have heard those shots and are coming to find that kill. Me. I have to sit here for 30 seconds and place the object. After I do so, somebody's here. It's just an AI scav. I take my time with my shots to conserve more ammo. But it's not over yet. Still gotta get to that extract. And who knows if there's an extract camper just waiting for me to approach, having heard all those shots. Doesn't look like there's anybody, but I'm vigilant all the way to the end. Just gotta wait to get out. I made it. Now it's time to sell the spoils of war and keep what I like. And you know what? I'm down for going in for another raid. So I hope you guys have a great idea now of what Tarkov exactly is, and if you've got any questions, please let me know down below. If you'd like to see more guides, you know what to do. Leave me a like and a subscribe if you think I deserve it. If you still think you need some help and want a guiding hand to bring you into the world of Tarkov and team up with you, be sure to check out the Armco community down below. You can find a number of members in there that play Tarkov. Anyway guys, I've been Morphologist, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll meet you at the extract.